right, is everybody ready? All right, here we go. All right, I'm calling the meeting to order for the regular meeting to start at 6. A little late, we're getting there. February 2nd, 2026, and we're doing it virtual on the internet. And at this time, I'm going to turn everything over to our Vice Chair, Mr. Pope.
Thank you, sir. Since we're kind of out of the norm last night, our normal veterans group is not here, so I'm going to call on my fellow commissioner and veteran, Reverend Godwin. If you would, please lead us in prayer.
All right, let us pray. Most glorious and almighty God, we thank you for this day, for your goodness and mercy. Thank you that you have kept us over the snow, and we ask you to bless those ones that was in accidents, to keep them. Now, as we open this meeting, Lord, we pray for the wisdom and knowledge of Sampson County, that you help us to give good words and good advice. And Lord, each one that has an opportunity to do the service, we say thank you. Now, bless Sampson County and keep us and bless each one here on tonight. And thank you for all you have done and all you're going to do. Thank you for your mercy and your grace. And we give you glory and honor now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. We're going kind of impromptu this. If you join me, I'm going to stand and say the pledge.
Thank you.
Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag
of
of the United States of America.
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. And all the efforts that we're going to make all this happen. I do really appreciate everyone. And at this time, I will ask that someone make a motion to approve the agenda, please.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All those in favor, just say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion so carries.
Raise your hand, commissioners.
Oh, raise your hand. I'm sorry. Raise your hand.
Thank you.
Can you see everybody? Yes, ma'am. I forget we got everybody else. We got me happy too. All right. All right. We're going to move on over into public information. And on public information, we're going to turn it over to Daniel. I believe you're on here with us, and you're going to give us an update of all this great weather we've had. Well, I see him on here. Daniel, you're up, brother.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. I was talking away and muted at the same time.
We'll try it again.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. And members of the board, appreciate the opportunity to join y'all again. As y'all know, we've been battling this snowstorm and had a bout of it for a couple of weeks now. Lance him and his team are working around the clock, so he was unable to jump on and join tonight, but he did provide me with some updates that our maintenance forces, they're on day 29, working around the clock for the events that we've had in the past. So they're showing and displaying their public service at best. Y'all know that we got around 4 to 8 inches of snow across the county, and some places got more than that. The brining operations put down 85,000 gallons placed on essential routes. 80 tons of salt was used to make that brine. De-icing operations of 450 tons of salt that we've used thus far. We still got areas that have thawed through the day and that are going to refreeze tonight. So we do encourage motorists and members of the public to use caution as you're traveling. I-40 in Sampson County is complete. We got a lot of our US and NC primary routes complete too, but again, there could be some spots that hadn't seen the big orange today. That helps us out with that de-icing. That may be spotty ice over the night. And we'll be moving to the secondary routes. Utilized 8 graders to push the ice with 12 equipped trucks with plows and spreaders. and we spread over 250,000 or 250 gallons of brine, and then used about that. This is for the last 29 days, and then we've used 1,200 tons of salt. So, I want to give a special thanks to the county with the support, and also the city of Clinton that has helped through this time. As far as our construction updates, when I attended last time, Boykin Bridge, we had not opened it to traffic yet, but it has recently, that bridge replacement on Boykin Bridge Road has been open to traffic. We've got our active resurfacing contract, NC 41 from Harold's to the Bladen County line. It's been paved, and pavement complete. We're working through some punch list items there. As soon as the weather does break, that our contractor will take care of that. Next, we'll move on to Wildcat Road, where it'll be widened and resurfaced, and then NC 55 Harnett Dunn Highway. We've got another resurfacing contract where we've met with our contractor, and those routes will be, I think I mentioned this last time as well, Isaac Weeks Road, from US 701 Northeast Boulevard to 1748 King Road, North Boulevard from 421 to Beeman Street, Sunset Avenue and Fayetteville Street from 421 to McCoy Street, and that paving will take place at night due to its location and in the city there. Westover Road from Elizabeth Street to Tram Road, and then Westover from Pierce Street to Elizabeth Street. We've also just recently awarded a pavement preservation contract where we'll be doing some pavement preservation on J.B. Wilson Road, Roanoke and Wart Road, Pleasant Union Road, Cary Bridge Road, Old Brick Mill Road, and Dowdy Road. So that's it for our construction updates. I did want to give an update as well on the speed increase on NC 24 from the Cumberland County line into the to the city limits of Clinton. So that is in the process. We're just waiting for our traffic services team to be able to install the sign. So we've gotten the approvals needed to do that. So in the coming days, weeks, I'm not going to say months, but hopefully soon we'll see those signs out there where the speed limit of NC 24 will increase to 60 miles per hour posted speed. So also Commissioner Lee and some others in the community there, US 421 and NC 903 intersection. We had done some improvements about a year ago, safety improvements there, but we're still seeing a trend of some accidents occurring at that intersection. So the department is pursuing and going to pursue an always stop there. And I know sometimes always stops may not be very favorable as far as the public perspective at times. However, they got their great advantages. So I'll run through a few statistics here. So it reduces accidents in 55% in total crashes, 92% in fatal and serious injuries, and 72% in frontal impact crashes. One thing or another big thing is they're the most cost effective and can be implemented more quickly than other types of safety projects such as signals and roundabouts. I've got some information that I can share with the commissioners as well, where this information was derived from. And then I also want to provide an update for Spring Lane. You know, we've been working on the design there for that, the construction of Spring Lane in the Ivanhoe community. And we had experienced some difficulties in design, and we have overcome that, where we were, the cross section of the road, the limits of construction was impacting some septic fields and septic systems there at the sharp curve where Spring Lane will tie into McCoy Loop. That is also the way that we have overcame that, was to implement an always stop there as well. That reduced the amount of cross section that we needed to where we could navigate and overcome influence in any of those septic fields. So that was able to reduce our overall right of way width needed there. And we should have right of way plans finalized by mid-June to late June. And at that time, our right of way team will be contacting the affected property owners in regards to acquiring that right of way. So that's all I have today or tonight. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to field them.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, Daniel, on 24 for the speed limit. Now, with that 60 stop right at going up to the college where it has 35, would that be 60 all the way up to there?
Yeah, there'll be some advanced warning signs placed for
Good.
notifying notifying of the speed change.
Yes.
But that is my understanding. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Daniel, just to clarify, you said the four-way stop was going to at 903 and 421 in Harrell's.
We're considering that. Yes, sir. And
Okay, so it's not been decided yet?
it's not been decided, but that's one thing that's our direction we want to pursue.
Okay. And the 24 speed limit, when did you say that would change, become effective?
So the ordinance is approved. It's just a matter now of our traffic services team getting out there and installing the signs.
Okay. Thank you for the information, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anyone got anything else?
Yes, sir. I'd like to thank DOT and their staff for the job they've done. I know it's a thankless job, but we appreciate everything you guys have done.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Long, hard hour.
We appreciate y'all.
All right, Daniel, we appreciate that. Now we're going to move on to our YMC update. Mr. Bill, you're up, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much, Mr. Van and commissioners, for allowing me to speak today. I actually have our board chair, Dr. Wesley Johnson, is also here in the room from the city of Clinton School District. So just wanted to, take an opportunity just to share a little bit of what's going on at the Y, and just also extend the invite for anybody here on the call tonight to stop by, get a tour, have some discussions, and just, find ways for us to collaborate with the county. So just, just for purposes of everybody knowing, I am originally from upstate New York. So this snow was nothing to me, except for the fact that there's no plows to get rid of it. But we definitely, appreciate the DOT and getting out there and clearing up these roads so we can get, back to work safely and have members come out and, use the facility. So speaking of members, our little branch there on East Johnson, we just hit over 3,000 member units. So I think we had hit that mark right after the turn of this new year. So excited to know that a lot of people in Sampson County are using the facility and taking advantage of the programs that we have. If you're not familiar with what the Y offers, a lot of times people want to think of just gym and swim. Mr. Thaddeus is a member and comes through frequently, so he can attest to the magic that happens inside that facility when it comes to pickleball, racquetball, basketball, the weight room, group exercise classes, active older adult classes. This year, our active older adults are going to be going to Niagara Falls as a group to go and see the falls. So so we have the social, we have that physical, portions of our Y commitment. And then we have that youth component. We just opened up a brand new preschool half-day program in January, which is going strong, and parents are excited for what we have to offer to the community. So we're excited to continue on with that and just other new programming opportunities. But also, the biggest thing that makes us different from a lot of other wellness centers is the ability to support our community with financial support. So anybody that wants to come and be a part of the Y will not be turned away for the inability to pay that membership fee. Just alone last year in program and membership fees, we were awarded $250,000 that we have given out to the community of Sampson. So that's a huge, undertaking, and the opportunity is there because there's a need there. Another point that I wanted to, mention too, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the food distribution program that the branch did last year. That will be continuing again this summer. So not only do we serve meals to the kids that come to summer camp programs for the 13 weeks, but we also are able to provide 7-day meal boxes for community members, and it's no cost to them. And that's a breakfast and a dinner meal for 7 days. And last year, the Sampson County branch gave out 58,000 meals. 58,000 meals just alone in our county. So that is getting ready to continue. Looking for partners just to continue to support us so we can make sure that goes off without a hitch. But just the opportunity to continue to do things that we know the community needs. So whether it's great childcare programs, such as at the city school district, we have a 21st century program that we opened up this year. That's a federally granted program to provide free after school programs for students. So that is, one of those other ways that we're able to continue to support the community and making sure that, everybody's living healthy and safe lives. Dr. Johnson, did you want to just share anything else? He might be muted, right?
No, I was, but they just
Okay.
unmuted me. And so, Bill, and everyone here, again, let me just offer continued kudos to DOT, Mr. Van and his team, for we've had several control group meetings over the last couple of weeks for the weather. I know wasn't what I was supposed to talk about, but we've just done a great job, I think, in preparation for the event that we just had. But getting back to what Bill was just sharing, I think he did a great job of just kind of talking about the consensus that we have here for the Y and for our community. That's why I'm an advocate for the Y, because it just goes beyond, as he said, just the gym and the swim, and it provides so many resources for our for our community and for our young people. He had me when he said young people. I do appreciate the work that we're doing there with our young people, the 21st Century Grant. We're looking at partnering also for a summer 21st Century program, and just providing resources for our individuals from really 2 to 3 all the way up, throughout, the entire age gap. I think that the Y provides our community just unlimited resources. And so we're glad to have Bill. He's got a plethora of experience in the Y for over 2.5 decades. So really gifted to have him. And I'm just glad to be a partner with him and a partner in this community. So if I can be of help, just let me know.
Thank you. I'll open up if there's any questions. I really appreciate your time tonight just to be able to share.
Do you have any questions from any of our commissioners?
Thank you, sir, for your information.
Yes, thank you, Bill.
Yes, sir. Yes, that kind of sheds a lot of light for everyone, I feel like. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right. If there aren't any more questions, we're going to move right along with the library update. Ms. Kelsey, you out there somewhere?
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. So just give me a second. I am gonna share my PowerPoints. Just give me a moment. I hope everybody's doing well and been staying warm and safe and maybe having a little fun with the sun. Let's see. Now, while that's coming up, can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so I am going to just go ahead and tell you right now, my PowerPoint is kind of wordy, but I just want to make sure that everything was covered. So let's just go ahead and get started. So I'm going to share several updates. This slide up on the screen right now is just showing all the different things that I will hit on. Just a few highlights from that. Talking about the progress towards the Friends of the Library initiative, update on passport application site, and then some updated statistics as well. There are some other things covered, but as we go along, you will see that. All right, so first up, progress update for the Friends of the Library initiative. So I do want to speak a little about what a Friends of the Library group actually is. It's an independent community-led organization that is made up of individuals from the community who value public library services, and they volunteer their time, talents, efforts to help support the library and what the library's goals and objectives are. The groups, Friends of the Library groups, they support the library in ways such as fundraising, advocacy, volunteering, also with community engagement. It is essential that you have a strong community leadership in order to have a successful group, and then the library staff is available to offer guidance and support as needed. In November and December, we held interest meetings at all 4 of our library branches, and there were 8 individuals that were in attendance. Each individual who attended the meetings, they were given kind of a post survey to indicate their interest in helping with the group, and 5 expressed interest in actually forming the core group to launch the organization. So typically a core group of people that's trying to launch a friends group, they are the ones that would serve as an initial board for the friends group. I do also have a few community members that could not attend the interest group meetings that may be interested in assisting with the core group as well. The others that attended the meetings, along with some other individuals in the community that could not attend, may also be interested in assisting with the group once it's established. At those meetings, I did provide guidance on establishing friends groups for public libraries. And again, the group of 5 to 10 individuals is sufficient to begin establishing a group. The next steps for this will be to schedule a follow-up meeting with the individuals who said they would be willing to help initiate and develop the Friends group. This is something that I shared with those who attended the meetings because I felt it was extremely important for them to know what was involved in establishing a Friends group. So this is the list here of the steps to establish a Friends of the Library group. So the core group are the ones who would begin working through the steps, and they are typically completed in the general sequence that's shown on the slide. First, the Friends group would, or the group, I'm sorry, the initial board of the Friends group or the core group would develop a written operating agreement between the group and library administration that defines the roles of the group and of the library and the authority in doing certain tasks. The next thing they would need to do is to establish the group's purpose and identify their service priorities. They would also need to create an organizational structure, talking about any committees or task forces that they would want to have to help support goals. They would have to develop organizational bylaws and also pursue a 501c3 status to allow for the acceptance of tax-deductible donations. Then they would establish a membership due structure. And then the final thing what they would do is develop and launch a recruitment campaign to grow the group, to get more members of the group beyond that initial core group. So those are the steps that were shared at the interest meetings as well. All right, so moving on again with the Friends group, kind of where we are is getting that group back together that's interested in pursuing that. The next thing I want to speak to is the exploration of offering other county services. So at a department head meeting a while back, I had broached to the other department heads, what are some things, the question, what are some things that you do that we could help with? And as a part of that conversation, Patty from DSS ended up connecting me with the person who used to manage the hub, which the hub is a community resource database from DSS. We received that and we began to review and update it. Due to staffing changes at DSS, the information that was provided had not been updated, I apologize, in about 6 months. So we are having to go line by line and check each resource, check each website, call the phone numbers to make sure everything is correct. The hub had previously served as a centralized point of contact for residents that were looking for information about local and regional social services, nonprofit programs, and community resources. Once we finish checking the database, and it is rather large, it's got several tabs and it's got, you know, probably depending on the entry, some of them could have 30 entries on each tab. But we will advertise to the public that we now have that information and then they could call us. We will share the updated database back with DSS so that they can use it one-on-one when a social worker is working with someone, and also encourage individuals seeking local resources to call or visit our library branches. We have already finished the food bank information sheet and updated that, and we've been using that with patrons as well as we shared it back to DSS for them to use as needed. A second part of exploration of offering other county services, the primary recommendation from other departments was to have library staff assist residents with accessing and navigating other departments' online services. At this point, our capacity to do that will expand gradually as the county transitions to the new system where everyone's payment systems are the same. It's the updated system, which, as I understand it, that transition will take a bit of time to implement. We are well positioned to support educating our citizens once the public-facing components of that are launched. I have mentioned that to Brandon and Melissa, so that when it comes time for that, the library can help with that. In any of this, whether we're helping with the public education or helping to receive payments from the public, after this is implemented, we will need to make sure the library staff are thoroughly trained and confident in using all components of the system. And then once we do that, then we can promote the library as a resource for this support. All right. The next thing, I had spoken about a couple of digital inclusion grants that we received at the end of 2025. We do now have all of the hotspots purchased from those grants. We have 16 hotspots available total across all library branches, and there are a few available at each branch. I will say the majority of them have already checked out, and some of them have checked out more than once. 5 of the hotspots will have data for 1 year, and the remaining 11 will have data for 3 years, and all of this is funded through the grants. These devices check out to adult patrons for 3 weeks, and they can be renewed for 3 more weeks if no one else is waiting for the device. I do want to share that I already have a success story from the hotspots. We had a library patron who had come in to the library in Garland a couple of weeks ago and said her internet was not working as she worked from home, but we were able to check out a hotspot to her, and she was able to take it home and work that day when she would not have been able to do so if she hadn't have had the hotspot. The next part I want to speak to is the passport application update. I'm sorry, passport application acceptance site update. I submitted a facility interest form for Miriam Lamb Library in Garland and Newton Grove. I'm sorry, and Bryan Memorial Library in Newton Grove. The U.S. Department of State only selected Bryan Memorial Library as a potential passport acceptance facility. All additional paperwork for Newton Grove has been submitted. And I will say at the time of this slide, we had not received the training information, but we have now received that training information. 4 staff members will be trained. Several of us have already began to work on that training. So as soon as we are done with that, we will submit additional paperwork, and then they will get back to us about how quickly we can begin accepting passport applications. We also plan to offer photo services so that we're a one-stop shop, so to speak. We will be able to charge $15 per set of photos. Whenever someone comes in to get their passport, they will have to pay a $35 execution fee, which will be paid to the library, and that will be revenue. But the postage costs to mail in the applications do have to be deducted from that execution fee, so the full amount will not be retained as revenue. Just as general information, for passport acceptance facilities, we can process once we officially become one. We're stamped approval, all that. First time passport applications and applications that are not eligible for renewal. Anyone who's getting a renewal passport that's eligible for renewal has to complete their renewal online or by mail. Just trying to think. Okay, I don't think I have anything else to say about that. I apologize. I thought I had something else, but I think that's it for now on the passport sites. All right, for our next updates, we are going to be partnering with the American Heart Association, our information services associate at the library. She connected with them to have them provide to the library no-cost blood pressure cuffs that can be used in the library and cuffs that can be checked out, and also one hands-only CPR kit for checkout. That is a non-certification kit. It would be more just for learning and knowing how to do it. They will not be able to be certified with that kit. At the time of the slide, the agreement had not been fully executed. It has now. So where we are in the process is our information services associate is working with our contact at the American Heart Association, and she is working on getting the devices ordered. And once they come back to her, the AHA representative, she will package those with information and stuff. We're hoping that this will help people. Maybe they just need to track their blood pressure for a little while. They're not able to afford the equipment, but they could check it out and use it from us. The equipment will belong to us once we get it. We will not have to give it back to the American Heart Association. And I'm sorry, just on that one more time, it is at no cost to us. That is all being provided by them for us. I'm going to speak a little bit about library card sign up outreach efforts. The majority of these were in September, which was library sign up month. Sorry about that. So library card month. We reached out to 13 local businesses, sending them promotional materials and signage for library card sign up month. We also sent the same materials to Sampson County departments. And we also did a library card sign-up drive at the county administrative building specifically for county employees, as well as it was for employees that might work for the county, but perhaps they're paid through the federal government or something else. Also in January, I did hold a library card sign-up drive at Roseboro Town Hall. That we didn't get a lot of signups, but we got some signups, and we had some people that we said, oh yes, we already have library cards. But it was just a nice opportunity to be out in the community. We're happy to host off-site library card sign-up events at government offices, local businesses, and other community organizations. The only thing we need is space to set up and Wi-Fi access. So this is more geared towards the community. But if you would like to sign up, have a sign up drive at any of those places or at a community event, as long as there's Wi-Fi, if you would just contact me, and my email address and phone number are listed on the slide. All right, the next portion I have here, we have launched a library card, I apologize, library community feedback survey. We are trying to get community input on library resources, programs, and services. We are hoping to get input from library patrons as well as people who do not use the library. We have it available in print at our library branches, online, at the website listed, as well as by QR code. At this time, we don't have an end date for the data collection. We're just hoping to get a diverse group of library users and non-users to reply before closing the survey. I think at this point we've gotten over 40 responses so far. All right, so these tables, it's going to be at 3 different slides. The first table is the original table that was provided last fiscal year during the budget process that had partial fiscal year 2024-2025 data. So on that, we had Clinton showing an average of 70.14 people per day on Monday, on Tuesday, 87.24, Wednesday, 57, Thursday, 74.41, Friday, 61.66, Saturday, 35.61. Newton Grove on Monday, we were showing 17.71, 23.09 for Tuesday, closed on Wednesday, 20 people per day on Thursday as an average, 20.41 on Friday, closed on Saturday. For Roseboro, we were showing an average of 23.92 on Monday, 23.44 on Tuesday, 21.59 on Thursday, 19.97 on Friday. Garland was showing 6.77 on Monday, 7.65 on Tuesday, 6.25 on Thursday, Friday 6.08. So again, that was the data that was provided during last budget cycle. The next table, this is the average daily in-person visits by branch with the full fiscal year 24-25 data. With Clinton, average visits of 73.62 on Monday, 92.72 on Tuesday, 63.65 on Wednesday, 78.70 on Thursday, 63.34 on Friday, 37.98 on Saturday. For Newton Grove, 24.16 on Monday, 24.78 on Tuesday, closed on Wednesday, 27.90 on Thursday, 23.71 on Friday. Roseboro, showing an average of 21 on Monday, 29.25 on Tuesday, 25.25 on Thursday, 23 on Friday. Garland, showing an average of 6.19 on Monday, 8.51 on Tuesday, 6.90 on Thursday, and 7.57 on Friday. All right, and the last of this sequence, this is the average daily in-person visits by branch from July 2025 to December 2025. And for Monday, for Clinton, 89.35. Tuesday, 109, I apologize, 101.96. 93.56 for Wednesday, 97.63 for Thursday, Friday showing 80.04, Saturday 41.81. For Newton Grove, an average of 27.43 on Monday, 28 on Tuesday, closed on Wednesday, 30.67 on Thursday, Friday 24.92. Roseboro is showing 23.35 as an average for Monday, 22.79 for Tuesday, 23.92 for Thursday, 18.04 for Friday. Garland, an average of 13.83 on Monday, 13.38 on Tuesday, closed on Wednesday and Thursday, and Friday 11.13. These are the adult programming statistics from July to December by library branch location. For Clinton, we had 16 adult programs with 49 people in attendance. Newton Grove had 4 programs with 6 in attendance. Roseboro had 6 programs with 14 in attendance. Garland had 6 programs with 21 in attendance. These are all ages programs, so they would be appropriate for kids up to adults. In Clinton, we had 3 of these with a total of 119 in attendance. Newton Grove, 3 with 42 in attendance. Roseboro, 3 with 9 in attendance. Garland, 3 with 30 in attendance. Those were also from July to December of 2025. Lastly, we have our children's programming statistics from July to December 2025 by library branch location. In Clinton, we had 14 children's programs with 458 in attendance. Newton Grove, we had 6 programs with 83 in attendance. Roseboro, 7 programs with 80 in attendance. Garland, 6 programs with 33 in attendance. Also from July to December, we did participate in 8 outreach events. Some of these outreach events were with senior clubs, at holiday celebrations, one genealogy class, also at an after-school program. We do like to represent the library at community events when possible because we're able to tell others about our programs and services maybe sometimes they don't know about. Again, if anybody's interested in a group presentation about library resources and services, they are encouraged to reach out to me. My email address and telephone number are also listed on this slide. These are just some upcoming library events for winter and spring. We are currently in our 5th year of our annual Letters of Love Valentine's card drive. We are collecting handmade cards for local seniors through February 6th. Usually we receive at least 2,000 Valentines. I'm not sure how many we have at this time, but I'm hoping it'll be a good number. We did have a blood drive scheduled for tomorrow. That has been postponed with the date to be determined. So that event on February 3rd has been postponed. We do have a blood drive coming up on Tuesday, February 17th from 4 to 7 at Roseboro Public Library. We're very thankful that Sampson Regional Medical Center has been partnering with us and bringing their blood mobile out to do those events. We have preschool story times coming up in February. All of them are at 10:30 a.m. Tuesday, February 10th at the library in Garland. Thursday, February 12th at the library in Roseboro. Thursday, February 19th at Bryan Memorial Library in Newton Grove. Tuesday, February 24th at J.C. Holiday Library in Clinton. Homeschool Connections, which that is a really strong group. They have theirs coming up on Tuesday, February 17th, and Tuesday, March 17th, both at 10:30. Those are always held at the library in Clinton. I've had extremely positive feedback from some of the homeschoolers. Oh, go ahead. That they were able to meet others and didn't know as many people in that community until they came to the homeschool events. Other upcoming library events, I'll be doing student access and school presentations for Clinton City Schools in February, also for Sampson County School Media Coordinators in March. We have some field trips scheduled with local schools, one in March at Bryan Memorial Library, one at J.C. Holiday Library in April. We'll be attending Butler Avenue Elementary for Read Across America Week in March. And then there is a special program planned. This is being offered free by the comedians, an adult clean comedy show on Tuesday, March 3rd at 2 p.m. at J.C. Holiday Library in Clinton. And the time was picked by them. So unfortunately it is in the middle of the day, but hopefully we'll have some that can attend. Those are all the things that I wanted to hit on. I appreciate everyone's attention. I know that was very lengthy. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, Miss Edwards, I have a question. In your presentation, you mentioned that the State Department had only qualified Bryan Memorial and Newton Grove to
Yes.
be a passport center.
Mhm.
What sort of, I guess you could say, qualifications allowed them to meet that test that the other libraries failed to meet? Could you talk about that if possible?
They said they didn't think Sampson County would be able to support more than one location, so they chose Newton Grove.
They chose Newton Grove over the one in Clinton?
No, I did not request the one in Clinton because
they already have traffic.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. And actually, I will speak that a little bit more. I had hoped if I requested Newton Grove and Garland, they were far enough apart that they would do both.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but they did not. So.
Okay. Thank you, though.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
I would just like to tell Casey how impressed I am with her slideshow. She did some of the things that we suggested to her on that budget time, and then she picked it up and brought on some of the things that she wanted to incorporate. And I just enjoyed it so much. It's just what we need. We need to move forward and get these programs started.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, we appreciate that. That was very informative, and then I had to say the same thing as Miss Lee did. Those were some of the things you stepped up and done has been impressive, and we thank you for what you're doing for our county.
Thank you.
All right. At this time, we're going to move on to our water projects update. Actually, Holland and his team, we're going to ask you guys to get ready and go.
All right, thank you. Good evening, commissioners and everyone. Hope everyone can hear me okay.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes.
right, thank you. I have a few updates on the water, on some of the water projects. I also be giving a update on our Sampson County Roseboro EMS. Then I'm going to turn the floor over to Emma Alessio with Dewberry, who will delve a little bit deeper into some of our water projects and stuff, and offer a little bit more explanation on those. I'm glad to see everybody was safe. Hope everyone stayed warm. I will say this before I get started. Public Works has went out and we've went all over the complex and the county buildings. We've been shoveling sidewalks and cleaning parking lots in preparation for when we do return to work, and we'll be constantly monitoring, making sure there is nothing that may impede that. If we have any problem areas, we'll address it before we decide to come back. That being said, I'm gonna go on into some of the water updates. I'm gonna touch briefly on each project, and like I said, I'll turn it over to Emma and she can give some further details. Starting off with Ivanhoe, they're currently installing water line along Harold's Highway towards Garland. The booster pump station site work is in progress. Booster station should be delivered to the site near the end of March. And we are installing some meter boxes as we speak. The project's currently probably about 80% done. Northern and southern ground wells, clearing at the King Road site is complete. Pilot hole drilling for the test well will be completed Wednesday if weather conditions permit. So hopefully that's getting underway. Clement area phase 2 easement acquisition is taking place to receive the permit for the DOT encroachment agreement. We're working on that. GFL water main extensions. The notice to award has been signed. It's sent to the contractor. The notice proceed will be issued to start construction around mid-March. We do have a campaign going on right now started January the 12th until March the 11th for ones that like to sign up to receive half price. Moving on to the iron and manganese. The general contractor and Dewberry and Public Works and everyone is working to see through the punch list items and prepare the site for startup. It was going to try to be started up last week, but weather conditions with this freezing weather and all hampered that. So hopefully in the next week or so, we can get that initial startup on it. So we'll be working with the SCADA company to get that integrated in between the treatment plant and our Warsaw Road. We'll also be flushing the water system to prepare for the treatment. That was one of the things that was kind of hampering us. We couldn't really do that because the freezing weather was not allowing us to flush to be prepared for that. Because we didn't want to cause any unforeseen problems, any water getting on the roadways, freezing, anything like that. We wanted to make sure that it was safe to do so and not cause further problems down the road. The system will be tested by a hydrant at the port. So anything that we do, we hope that we're going to get it right there. So if something was to happen, it won't go out in the system. Old Warsaw Road, the environmental initial engineering analysis is complete, and we will be submitting the milestone date tomorrow, February the 3rd. So that report will be submitted, and everyone that was affected by the PFAS and all that stuff on there has signed the paper and all that stuff. So that's going in tomorrow, February the 3rd, the engineering report. We are in the midst of doing a risk and resiliency assessment. An initial project kickoff was held to perform an overall assessment of the Sampson County water system. And following this kickoff, a site visit was performed by myself and Dewberry and them to evaluate existing conditions at the elevated storage tanks, wells, and booster pump sites. The next step will be to evaluate Sampson County's existing IT and cybersecurity as it relates to the water system. And the certification is due to the EPA on June the 30th, 2026. Is there any questions on that part so far? Okay. Here that I'm gonna give an update. That was all I had for the water. I'm gonna go ahead and give an update on the Sampson County Roseburg EMS side. So Kimley Horn engineering firm is assisting the county in providing bidding and construction phase services. So we've had a meeting on the 27th and the 29th with the architect and the civil engineers. And Kimley Horn will be helping the county in providing bid and construction specifications for the project. So we're looking at right now doing a bid advertisement mid to late, early to mid-March. And then if everything is, when they come in and it is approved, if it's approved, we're hoping to maybe award by April if it comes to that. So we've got this underway. It's moving right along. And we hope to have it done, like I said, by 1st of mid-March. Any questions on that? All right, with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Miss Emma Leggio, and she's got a PowerPoint presentation to delve a little bit further into our water system projects.
Thanks, Ashley. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I'm going to share my screen. All righty. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Yes, got it.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for allowing me to talk to you today. My name is Emma Leggio. I work with Dewberry Engineers. I've had the pleasure of working with the Public Works Department for just under 4 years now, and supporting them with the significant expansion and growth of the Sampson County water system that we have seen over the past 4 years. So we wanted to highlight the work that we've done since 2022 as it relates to the system growth and the funding opportunities that Sampson County has received associated with these projects. So just to start off with a brief summary of the projects that we have worked on with these funding opportunities, we are working on design and construction of over 95 miles of water main extensions, 2 elevated storage tanks, 3 booster pump stations, and 3 well sites. So to dive in a little deeper, we'll start with the system expansion, which includes the water main extensions. So this is an overall map of Sampson County. The black squares highlight the areas where we have focused our projects. These are projects both that have been already completed and are under construction and design, all that good stuff. So this is the northern section of Sampson County, and this is the southern area. You can see Roseboro and Bonnetsville on the left, and the GFL landfill area. And then on the right is the Ivanhoe water system expansion. So since 2022, as these projects have been installed, we've seen a 10% increase in the number of service connections in the county. And we are anticipating additional growth as these water lines finish construction and these projects progress. This significant growth is just showing the interest in Sampson County and the community growth. And this also provides additional revenue for the Sampson County water system as customers connect. So with the significant growth, system improvements need to be made to help support this. So as a part of that, elevated storage tanks have been designed in construction. 2 have been installed to date. As you can see of the photos on your screen, 1 is in the Roseboro area and 1 is in the Midway area. Each of these tanks can hold about 125,000 gallons of water. And the purpose of these is essentially to support that system growth by providing additional storage capacity. These tanks also help with improving system pressures as a whole. And ultimately, especially in the Roseboro area, these tanks will allow the county to have a larger footprint as far as where they can go with their water mains in the future, as your community continues to grow. So along with the elevated storage tanks, booster pump stations have been designed and constructed in order to support the system. So to date, the Midway Station and Bonnettsville Booster Pump Station have been constructed. And the Ivanhoe Booster Pump Station, as you heard from Ashley, is currently in the process of construction. So the purpose of booster pump stations are initially to support the tanks that we have designed and constructed by helping them fill and provide the water supply. They also help with improving water quality and system conveyance. This is an additional measure to support the existing and future growth by also providing additional pressure as a whole. And again, they work in tandem with the elevated storage tanks. And we cannot talk about system growth without talking about increasing the total water capacity available. So wells have been proposed in 3 locations, 2 of which, the King Road site and the Taylor's Bridge Highway site, are currently in the initial stages of construction. Ashley mentioned they've cleared the King Road site, and we are working on the test wells at these locations. What that means is they're investigating the potential yield from the wells and the potential water quality. And based on those results, that will determine whether permanent wells are installed in those locations. The image you see on your screen is from the I-4403 well site that was constructed in 2022. So these wells ultimately are going to be installed to support the system growth and allow for additional self-sufficiency for the county. Right now, the county purchases water from other systems to help support the amount of supply needed to provide water to the residents of the community. With the additions of these wells, this will ideally allow the county to purchase less water from other systems and ultimately support the sales to other large customers like Enviva and Johnson County, which ultimately provides an additional revenue stream for the Sampson water supply system. And just to summarize, these projects represent over $50 million in federal and state grant funds. This is a significant growth effort that's been completed in the past 4 years. And just to give a summary of where these projects are at, about 34% are complete to date, 37% are still under construction, 11% are in the design and permitting stages, and 18% are still in the preliminary stages. And we are always looking with the Public Works Department for new funding opportunities to provide clean drinking water to the residents of Sampson County. And with that, I'll open the floor for any questions that y'all may have.
Any questions for any commissioners?
No, I don't have any questions, but thank you for the information tonight.
Very good.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you for
Thank
bringing
you.
this out and letting everyone see it. That's a big deal. All right, we're gonna move right on into our consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda this time.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Have a motion. Need a second?
Second.
Those in favor indicate by the raised hand. So carries. Consent agenda is approved. Before we move on with our report from our taxes, Jim, be ready. If anyone has noticed, and in this group, we know that Commissioner Godwin has an event going on in his household. If y'all will, please keep him in your prayers, and we're going to move on and do the business of the county. Okay? Just keep that in the back of your minds, and I appreciate y'all. This time, I'm going to turn everything over to item 3. Jim, it's on you, brother.
Good evening, Commissioners. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, as you know, property taxes went delinquent January the 6th. We're a little bit over midpoint of the tax collection year. And statutes require us 105-369 on the first Monday in February to report to the board the amount of unpaid taxes on real property, which creates a lien on real property. The current fiscal year that we're in right now, the total amount of liens that are unpaid at this point is $4,155,052.67, which is $53,553.45 higher than last year. But we do have a tax levy of real and personal property, which is just over $5 million higher than it was the previous year. And also our tax collection rate, real and personal property, last year at this time we were at 90.95%. Total this year we're at 91.16%. So typically when taxes go delinquent, we're around 91%. That's the easy part. The hard part is getting from 91 to 97, which, we'll begin our enforcement collection program later this week, actually, with our garnishments. So that'll get started, and we'll be, busy on that now through the end of the fiscal year. The law also requires us that all these liens on real property have to be advertised at least once between March the 1st and June the 30th. So I would recommend that we set a board date of advertising for April the 8th, 2026. And the cutoff time to avoid advertising would be Wednesday, April the 1st, 2026. So I guess we need a motion to accept the amount of tax liens on real property and to set the advertising date required by statute.
I entertain a motion at this time.
Mr. Chairman, I make such a motion.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to set the tax lien as reported and approve the advertising date. All those in favor indicate by the raised hand. Motion so carries. That one's going on. Now, Jim, we're back to you for the schedule for the 2026 Board of Equalization and Review.
Yes, sir. I would like the Board of Commissioners to consider setting the date for the 2026 Board of Equalization and Review. Statute requires us not to meet before the first Monday in April and no later than the first Monday in May. We are required to publish these at least 3 times in the local newspaper, with the first being no less than 10 days before the first meeting. And we also have to advertise the date that we intend to adjourn the Board of Equalization and Review. And I think we'll be okay by setting one date. I'll recommend Tuesday, April 21st for the 2026 Board of Equalization and Review. And we can set appointment times from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on that date. Now that is flexible. If you prefer to meet another time, we can do that as well.
I'm fine with those dates. Everybody good with the dates?
I'm fine, Mr. Chairman.
Eric, Ms. Lee, everybody good? All right, well, I'll entertain a motion that we approve these dates of the Board of Equalization and Review, hearing date and appointment times.
So moved.
All right.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor indicate by raised hand. Motion so carries. All right, we're on to our action items. first action item will be the town of Fuquay. And Mr. Brandon, you're up, brother. It's on you.
Yes, sir. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Brandon Wiggins, Special Projects Manager for Sampson County. In recent months, the board directed staff to conduct a formal review regarding the town of Fuquay Varina's interbasin transfer request to transfer over 6 million gallons of water per day out of the Cape Fear River Basin. Staff have completed that review. The position paper and supporting resolution, which is included in your packet tonight, are the result of that vetting. My goal is to provide you a high-level overview of our findings before the board considers a formal resolution. So an interbasin transfer, just to kind of break it down for people that are unfamiliar, or IBT, letters you may see in print, occurs when water is withdrawn from one river basin and discharged into another. Because this process results in a net loss of water to the source basin, North Carolina requires a specific regulatory review to evaluate potential long-term impacts. We are currently in the state public comment period. This is a formal stage in the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality process designed to ensure that the modeling and data provided by the petitioner, in this case, Fuquay Varina is the petitioner, are subjected to a broad range of perspectives. The input gathered during this period is essential because it allows the state to consider localized economic and environmental data that may not be fully captured in generalized models. For Sampson County, this involves analyzing the water needs of a $2.1 billion agricultural economy, which we're all aware that is central to everything that happens in our county. So it is important to note that this process involves various stakeholders along the Cape Fear Basin, just as downstream neighbors are providing input on how this transfer may affect their future operations. Sampson County's perspective is an essential component of the state's total evaluation. The goal of this phase is to ensure the state's final decision is informed by a comprehensive basin-wide understanding of both current and future water demands. So in the state application process, the petitioner, and again, we're talking about Fuquay Varina, is required to evaluate multiple alternatives for managing their projected water needs. Their preferred alternative, as it is referred to, is classified as a 100% consumptive loss model. In practice, this means the water withdrawn from the Cape Fear River Basin would be treated and discharged into a different receiving basin, specifically the Neuse River Basin, rather than being returned to the source. This results in a permanent net loss of over 6 million gallons per day from our local water supply. The petitioner has selected this option based primarily on a cost-benefit analysis of their own utility infrastructure. However, our review finds this model to be inconsistent with the principles of sustainable regional water management. We are instead advocating for basin neutrality. This standard requires that any entity withdrawing water from the basin must also invest in the infrastructure necessary to treat and return that water to the Cape Fear, maintaining the hydrological integrity of the source basin. So the petitioner's modeling suggests the 6 million gallon withdrawal is essentially hydrologically invisible, which in layman's terms, just a drop in the bucket is essentially what they're claiming. But they are basing that on annual flow averages. However, as the county, as a $2 billion ag industry, we must plan based on a 7Q10 standard, which is essentially the flow levels during severe drought. Our livestock industry already requires significant daily withdrawals for animal health and sanitation. During drought conditions, the petitioner's preferred alternative would force our local industry to compete for a diminished margin of safety. Prioritizing out-of-county municipal growth over the survival of our existing agricultural base represents an unreasonable risk to Sampson County's economic stability. Beyond the volume of water available, we must also evaluate the impact on what is called the assimilative capacity of the Cape Fear River. Maintaining specific flow levels is essential for the natural dilution of regulated constituents, including nitrogen and emerging contaminants such as PFAS, which we're all familiar with. A permanent reduction in source water volume increases the concentration of these substances for all downstream intakes, including Sampson County. For Sampson County, this directly affects the baseline quality of the raw water our system must treat. If the petitioner removes the high quality water that provides this dilution, the resulting increase in contaminant concentration necessitates, more intensive and expensive filtration processes to maintain our current drinking water standards. This shift in treatment burden is a central component of our environmental justice analysis. State and federal guidelines designate it as unreasonable for a municipality to externalize the environmental and infrastructure costs of its growth onto neighboring jurisdictions. The estimated $242 million required for return flow infrastructure represents the cost of internalizing those impacts. Ensuring the petitioner, Fuquay Varina, manages their own discharge is the most effective way to protect the long-term quality and fiscal health of Sampson County and our downstream neighbors. It is important to note that staff's findings are consistent with the concerns of both our local economic leadership and our regional partners. Within the county, the Sampson County Economic Development Commission, the NC Cooperative Extension, and the Sampson County Friends of Agriculture have all formally recorded their opposition. Full letters of support for the county's position from each of these organizations are included in your agenda packet tonight. Furthermore, this opposition is part of a growing regional consensus. Several downstream neighbors and stakeholders have already expressed public opposition to the petitioner's request, including Pender County, New Hanover County, Brunswick County, the Lower Cape Fear Water and Sewer Authority, as well as the City of Wilmington. The collective message from these stakeholders is clear. The proposal in its current form presents a documented risk to the long-term water security and agricultural viability of the entire Cape Fear Basin. In conclusion, staff recommends the board adopt the resolution as presented. This action achieves three objectives. Number one, it formally opposes the petitioner's preferred alternative due to the permanent depletion of our resources. Number two, it establishes a threshold stating that the only reasonable alternative is one rooted in basin neutrality. Number three, it protects the public trust, ensuring our residents and industries are not forced to bear the long-term risks of another region's growth model. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, for your time and attention to this matter. This review reflects staff commitment to protecting the long-term interests of Sampson County's residents and our $2.1 billion agricultural economy. As we are meeting remotely today due to the weather, I want to clarify that I am presenting this report as a spokesperson for the county's administrative review. So if you have any technical questions that you need answered, I can certainly take those down, speak to the relevant experts that may be able to answer any technical questions you have. But with that, that is all I have. And if you have any general questions, I'll be happy to answer those as I'm able.
I had to unmute. I'm sorry. Do we have any general questions?
Brandon, I just want to say I appreciate the work you put into this, and very well done. I think this is what we need to do, what we needed to do in order to make this decision on the resolution. So I applaud you for your effort, and thank you, Mr. Van, for assigning this task to Brandon. I agree with his conclusions, and I support the resolution as written.
Stephanie, at this time, I need to ask you, do we have anything as far as does anyone have anything about a public comment? Have we received anything on the order?
The only thing that I've received, and Brandon, you've done a phenomenal job, and I appreciate everything you've done. Like Mr. Crumpler stated, you covered everything. One thing to potentially consider, two things were brought to me by members of the public. One, Fort Bragg is dependent upon the Cape Fear for a water resource. Hopefully our friends and neighbors in Cumberland are addressing that from a national security perspective there at Fort Bragg, or, the military base being there, but also the Neuse River. When they dump water back into the Neuse is already prone to flooding. Has anybody taken that into consideration to increase the chances of flooding in the Neuse by dumping additional water into that? That was the only thing brought up by citizens for me.
Do we have any other comments from the board or anyone else on this here tonight?
The only thing that I heard is that people don't want it if it's going to affect our water quality, because we want to keep the water quality that we have. And hats off to you, Brenda. You did a wonderful job. Most of it I understood and most of it I didn't, but you understand it, and that's all that's important. So
Thank you, ma'am. I
it's a
appreciate it.
wonderful job.
And we do appreciate what you're doing, Brandon, and all the time you put in it. This was not a easy task that just got thrown, or I want everyone to understand that the commissioners took this very seriously. We looked at it from the whole perspective of what it was going to do and the effect it have on our county and our stakeholders. Nothing was taken out of text. It's all been very well vetted, and I think we can move forward.
So,
So
Mr.
that
Chairman,
is-
Mr. Chairman, was there no other public comments, Stephanie, that you
I haven't
received?
gotten any for this, no.
Okay, thank you.
So I feel good about where we're at. I think we need to move forward this and recommend an action on the motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we adopt the resolution as written.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Motion so carries. We've adopted the resolution.
Mr. Chairman, I'd also like to make a motion to adopt the official position paper as the county's fits this and to publish it on the county website.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by the raised hand. That motion so carries. All right. Thank you again, Brandon. We appreciate that.
Thank you, sir. We'll get that up this week. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Now we're going to move on to our solid waste ordinance, and there's been a lot of thought put into this and a lot of time. Mr. Van, I'm going to let you run with this, please, sir, because there's three of y'all on the agenda, and I know that I personally know there's been a lot of thought put into this, so let's roll with it.
Yes, sir, you do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, fellow commissioners. Well, as everyone knows, it's been a major issue for the county. It's been going on for a few years with the animal waste spills. Kind of a side effect of what Brandon talked about with our $2.1 billion agriculture industry, obviously. But it's something that, it's gone on for a while. We haven't had a good protocol in place. We can't keep doing things the way we've been doing it because it's exerting a lot of resources and things. And so we're going to speak a little more to that. I just want to let you know, first of all, I want to thank the chairman. He stuck it through with me and our other team members all the way through as far as the last few months meeting and trying to come up with some type of solution and protocol to help us with all of this. And there's enough parties that were stakeholders that we worked together that I want to make a point to mention this just to show everybody the magnitude of what we're talking about. We were engaged with, as far as meetings about this topic, with major hog and poultry producers, Sampson County Emergency Services, the Fire Marshal's Office, the Sheriff's Office, the County Attorney, GFL, DEQ, the Department of Agriculture, the North Carolina Department of Transportation, the North Carolina Highway Patrol, City of Clinton officials, as well as, again, the chairman and myself. We've had multiple meetings over the last few months. They've been very involved, and and I just appreciate the team effort and the relationships as far as everyone trying to pull together to help come up with a solution for this. So when we first got started with this, we realized, okay, one major problem here, this needs to be incorporated as far as revisiting Sampson's solid waste ordinance. So we knew that we needed some updates to the ordinance, but we also knew in the process, while we're here, we have some other updates in addition to this whole issue of the animal waste spills. So we put some information together about that, and I want to thank Paul Allen, our attorney. He really worked hard on that, and he's going to cover some of that information shortly. But going back to the animal waste spills, we also came to the realization that we needed a coordination, a spill coordination policy, excuse me. That's what we've coined it. And it works hand in hand and is informed by the solid waste ordinance. So specifically, the proposed updated ordinance and spill coordination policy will help to provide a true protocol, as I had mentioned earlier, whenever we do have to deal with these spills, so that we can avoid confusion, frustration, and this is key right here, unnecessary deployment of public safety resources and various agencies. We just had a tremendous experience in that regard of just a lot of people showing up, trying, they want to fix the problem, but without having this protocol in place, it's just a waste of resources for everybody just kind of standing around, not really clear on what to do. Now, I want to be clear that we have partners in the industry that have been extremely supportive, of these efforts, and all along the way, they've been exceptionally helpful to us. Whenever we've needed assistance with cleanups and things like that. These are, again, people in the agricultural industry. So once again, we really thank those partners and those relationships. In addition to the things that have been mentioned so far, we're asking the board to consider the use of a line item of $25,000 that will allow Sampson County to immediately contact a cleanup contractor whenever we have a violator that they're unable to provide a contractor of their own, or we're unable to locate who's responsible. Of course, when we're unsure who the violator is, we will work with the sheriff's office and other parties to perform an investigation to locate said violator. In many cases, we will determine the guilty party, bill them or their insurance provider for the cleanup, and be able to reimburse this $25,000 line item. But to be clear, there will be occasions when we're not able to identify the violator. And so in those cases, we're not reimbursed for that money. Finally, the associated fee schedule will allow us to bill for the first responders, i.e. the fire departments, associated apparatuses and equipment that will be used for the incident. And this will be a separate billing from the actual cleanup, and this money will be reimbursed to the fire departments. So I would just say that now I'd like to turn things over to Paul Allen, our county attorney, so that he can share some updates related to the solid waste ordinance. And then after that, I'd like to ask Rick Sauer, Emergency Services Director, to speak a little more about the spill coordination policy. So, Paul, hopefully you can hear us and you're able to jump in at this time, please, sir.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? And can you see me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. Technical difficulties averted. Let me also, am I able to share, Stephanie, or can you give me that ability? If not, that's okay. We'll proceed. Okay, perfect. Good. Looks like we can. Let me see if I can jump into this. It is not looking like it wants to allow me to. All right, we will scrap that for the moment. I sent this to all of you as a separate email. One thing I want to make note of as I go through this, just kind of want to do a housekeeping matter. Article 6, use of convenience sites and the landfill, conflicts. That section C, I sent it to all of y'all with a very minor update. And just for anybody that's online and for the public record, is that section C has been adjusted to read as follows. Conflicting ordinances. In the event of a conflict between this ordinance and the Sampson County Landfill Franchise Ordinance, the ordinance regulating the storage and collection and disposal of solid wastes at the landfill and bulk container sites in Sampson County, or the Sampson County Public Nuisance Ordinance, the provisions of those ordinances shall take precedent. The only addition that has been made for the record on those items is that third reference to an ordinance. The two previous ordinance or the two previous references already were in the previous agenda, which was published. But as I just read it, there is how I would ask that, as presented, is how I would ask that this be adopted at the end. So, as Mr. Van mentioned, we took the opportunity here to go through and do a more full vetted and robust adjustment and update to the Sampson County solid waste ordinance. But as you heard, there are some prior items which address it in minor fashions. However, I will make special attention then to Article 7's or Article 7, which deals with solid waste transportation. This was an item that we specifically wanted to address because, as Mr. Van mentioned, one of the major issues that we've seen has been the animal spills, and that language significantly updates the requirements or the standards as far as what those transporters will be required or how they will be required to cover and seal or otherwise encapsulate the animal waste which they are transporting, which then will go hand in hand. And I would say too, no article within this is obviously misplaced or anything. They're all important, but for purposes of wanting to hit what has been our major issue and driving factor in this has been the spills. We then jump to Article 12, which speaks to the waste spills policy. And I should make mention of this is that as Mr. Van mentioned, this was a very collaborative effort between numerous stakeholders and numerous parties. And one thing myself and Mr. Van realized in going through this is that this is not a silver bullet. By passing this ordinance or passing this policy, it does not create a silver bullet that will solve the county's entire solid animal waste problem. This is our first significant step in the right direction to solving that problem. And that is the important reason for why not only did we want to create an ordinance to address it in a robust fashion, but why we also wanted to create a policy, because that policy for the public and viewing audience, that policy will be much more of a living document potentially than what the ordinance is. The ordinances obviously have to come before the board, have to go through a much more robust process before passage. However, policy can have that more grassroots and grounded effect. So Mr. Rick Sauer here in a little bit will get into that, but I wanted to make sure and point that out for anybody listening that, again, this is not a silver bullet. This is the step in the right direction, and there will be probably many more steps along the way. So we have Article 12 that speaks to that solid waste policy, and will point to the obviously points to the policy that Rick Sauer will go through soon. And then importantly, Article 13 and Article 14 go hand in hand as far as enforcement and violations and penalties. Some of this, if not a large portion of this, also came from Anson County. And Mr. Van did a great job as far as making connections there, as they are pretty much the only other significant county that is having a significant issue with animal waste, and they had taken some steps to address this as well. So we're kind of going in lockstep with them as far as our violations and penalties, most significantly of which is the fact that it will have a doubling effect for violators. And further down to Mr. Van's point, he touched on this earlier, that Section F within that article of the ordinance speaks to the abatement aspect of this, that when we when the forces at work go out to abate these spills, that there will be a mechanism by which we can come back and charge those violators, the transporters, the people that are responsible for these spills. So we have those articles then at play, and the rest are definitions. And so with that, again, at the end of this, I'll ask for your passage of this ordinance as it has been presented tonight with that minor addition to Article 6, Section C. With that, I will turn it over to Rick Sauer for his presentation to go through the policy, as he had a significant hand in crafting that, and he will be the major party leading that aspect
Thank
of
you,
this.
Paul, and thank you, Mr. Van. Good evening, Commissioners. I'm just going to really summarize this coordination policy. Essentially, when the 911 center receives a report of an MOA spill, they'll dispatch first responders, including fire departments, and at least one member of my staff. First responders are going to arrive at a scene of a spill, determine whether the transporter is present at the scene or has left the scene of the spill. If the transporter is still on the scene, appropriate enforcement action will be taken by either emergency services, the sheriff's department, or the state highway patrol. If the transporter is not on the scene, an attempt to identify that transporter will commence. In either case, a cleanup contractor will be contacted as soon as possible to avoid long-term delays in opening up the roadway. As Mr. Van stated, there is a fee schedule proposed to try to recoup some of those costs for our expenses, along with the sheriff's office, fire departments, and so on. We have followed this policy twice now, this month alone, before it was written, and it seems to be working pretty well. We've had 2 spills this month. We followed the procedure. We're able to identify both transporters who did not stay at the spill. They left the scene. We've issued 2 citations for that. So we've been working closely with the sheriff's department, with City of Clinton, and so far it's been working good. So that's just sort of a summary of what we're going to be trying to accomplish.
Perfect. Thank you, Rick. And thank you, Paul. That was an excellent point. I know the chairman and myself had that conversation multiple times as well. And we do want to be clear that this is really just a step in the right direction. And we realize there's going to be tweaks to make along the way. We may even have to come, we may have to come back before the board or whatever the case may be until we get this leveled out. But it is great news to hear from Rick, though, that it seems to be working so far as what he's implemented thus far. So, commissioners, with all of that said, what we're asking you to approve once again is the updated solid waste ordinance, the associated Sampson County spill coordination policy, the associated fee schedule, and the approval of using a $25,000 line item to give the county the ability for immediate response when needed. We're just proposing that for your consideration and approval. And thank you.
Do you have any further comments from anybody on the board? Just to clarify.
Mr. Van, has any thought been given to having being a little more aggressive like the city of Clinton has done with fines? Has no thought was given to that, or is there a reason for not doing fines other than just citations? Or is this just a stepping stone that we have to get to that final result if we continue to have an issue?
I would say it's a stepping stone to that point. Paul, do you have any thought there?
I was going to ask for Chip to clarify, because the ordinance does speak to a doubling aspect, at least on certain, maybe not the fine, because there are certain statutory limitations on certain fines, or the way that we define those things. But there are other things, and again, we kind of borrowed this from Anson County as far as the doubling aspect for repeat offenders. So
Yeah.
there is something in there as far as if we have a repeat offender, or a known offender, I guess again,
Yeah.
that has a repeat aspect of this. So it does have an accumulation effect.
You're talking about the $100 offense, $100 offense, $500 per offense
And then
violations.
yes, and then if you read underneath that, it speaks to a doubling aspect of those.
Okay. All
And then
right.
also we've got it covered to where we'll have the fire departments all there's fees associated that we recoup a lot back that we won't before. We were just eating it, and now this way it's someone's paying a bill.
Well, I
And
like
then
that part is because I don't like the fire departments having to go to the scene and not get anything for it. I think that's that's definitely a good idea there.
Everybody that's invested in this will get rewarded for our time and our efforts that we want before. Now we may, like you said, we may have to look back at some of the fees back on these drivers and what they're doing, because we're going to have and that's something we can revisit, but to put the fees in place and to know that we got some type of reward back to us and a way of vetting it in as far as finding the drivers, it's a big deal. And Rick and them have done an excellent job. Paul's done a great job of writing it, and they're buying into what we want to do, and that's going to push us forward as we move.
Thank you.
Just a quick bookkeeping thing. The fines that are, or the fees that are associated with emergency services, particularly fire departments, are we going to have to, at a monthly meeting, rebudget them to their, or we're just going to go ahead and set up something where it goes automatically back to them?
That comes into Melissa's department. The money
Well,
the way it's set up is the money goes right back to her, and then she affords it over to the giving people.
and I'll be honest, we've,
Yeah, we'll have to.
go ahead, Melissa, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, we haven't really discussed that process yet,
That-
but it would have to come into the county and then be redistributed back out to the fire department.
And that's what I was going to say. We had decided that we wanted, first step was just to see, would the board approve everything as submitted here? And then once it's approved, the plan is to meet immediately to make sure we have the best process in place to accommodate the need there with Melissa and Rick. As a matter of fact, Rick and I had that very conversation this afternoon.
All right, I appreciate it. But that is good.
Anybody getting ready to say something?
I was going to say, I agree with everybody else. It's a stepping stone for us to get something done, because this is not going to stop. It's going to keep getting worse if we don't have something in place where we can sort of punish the people that's doing this, because they don't have to do it. They can cover their stuff up. We had just had the road paved down here, and it haven't even dried, and they came and spilled all that stuff on this Highway 41. They got to be punished for what they're doing. So it's a stepping stone. We can tweak it and finish it up.
Real quick, just so everyone knows, somebody asked, was being mentioned about help from Raleigh, whatever, guys. There's not but 2 counties that are dealing with this, and that's us and Anson County. And we're going to have to put some things into place on our own, and we're going to have to we'll move forward with it as we go, because things may change. But right now, I think this is the best thing we can put in place, and everybody knows the direction we're going in, and I feel like it's a good thing for everyone.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the solid waste ordinance as well as the corresponding fee schedule.
Second.
All those in favor? Motion so carries.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman,
that goes a long ways in us moving forward. I promise you.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to allocate $25,000 line item for the spills cleanup.
Thank you.
Second.
I have a motion for the line item of $25,000 and a second. All those in favor? Motion so carries.
Thank y'all. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Van.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks to everybody.
I know that everyone put into this. It goes a long ways.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you, Rick.
Thank you, everybody.
So with that, we'll move right on to our resolution opposing the expansion in Fayetteville of the Kilmores. Mr. Allen, it's on you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you again, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. As we know, everyone knows the association of PFAS being released into the air and water as far as the situation with the Chemours plant, Chemours, I guess you would say, in Cumberland and Bladen counties. It's our understanding that they applied, meaning Chemours, for an air permit that would release a pretty significant volume into the air, and the concern is the amount of PFAS emissions that would be included in that release. And so you have before you for consideration a resolution where you're basically saying that you are Sampson County would be opposed to this expansion at this plant for those reasons that I just mentioned.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to adopt the resolution opposing the expansion of the Chemours facility in Cumberland and Bladen.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Have any further discussion? If not, raise your hands. Motion so carries. Thank y'all. Was that easy enough there, Mr. Van?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thank you.
I'm gonna turn it on over to our Roseboro dive team. Rick, you back on, bro. It's on you.
Thank you, sir. As everybody knows, the Roseboro Rescue has gone through some transition the last couple of years. In March of 2023, the Roseboro Rescue informed the county they would no longer provide emergency medical services. In March of 2024, Roseboro Rescue informed the county they'd no longer provide rescue services, which is basically the extrication of people trapped in vehicles with the jaws of life. But they did wish to continue to provide dive rescue and recovery services. The county agreed to enter into a short-term contract at no cost to the county in March of 25. And that contract expired December 31st of 2025, the end of last year. So this contract in front of you is a renewal of the previous contract to extend the dive team contract at no cost to the county until February 2027. And then the contract would change month to month extensions through December of 2027 so that we could review and prepare another contract if we wish to do that. So I'd be happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
Got any questions?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to authorize the execution of a no-cost Roseboro dive team contract.
Second.
All those in favor indicate by raised hand. Motion so carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Rick. All right, well, now we're going to move on to our board appointees. I'm going to turn that over to our Vice Chair, Eric Pope, please.
I have two motions tonight before you. The first motion would be to reappoint Cynthia Davis, Cassie Fairclough, Yeri Hernandez, Russell Devon, and Daniel Cumbo to a third term on the Health Advisory Board. This would be reappointments for those 5 individuals.
I make the motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by raised hand.
The
All right.
second motion would be to nominate Dr. Ted Thomas, a dentist, to serve on the board. They're in need of a dentist on that board.
So move.
I think I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Motion so carries. Thank you, Vice Chair. We're going to move on to our public comment section. Excuse me. Miss Stephanie, we said we're going to read those tonight, so it's on you, dear.
Mr. Chairman, we did receive 2 public comments. One is from Miss Shirley Honeycutt, and she's actually online with us. I didn't know if you wanted me to read the comments that she sent in, or if you wanted to let her speak herself.
That's up to you. I'm gonna leave it up.
Miss Shirley, would you like a chance to speak to the board?
Got to unmute her.
She's not she's muted. I mean,
Yeah.
It looks like she's trying to talk.
I've got it to where she should be able to unmute now.
Yeah.
Right now, Miss Shirley.
Go ahead and read it, Stephanie. That will be fine.
Okay, I will do it.
Thank you, ma'am.
This says, "Good evening, Sampson County Commissioners. My name is Shirley W. Honeycutt. I've been a rural Sampson County resident my entire life, 66.5 years to be exact. On January 29, 2025, I also became a resident of the city of Clinton. I purchased a new build on Jefferson Street, which is in the Colonial Heights subdivision. There are currently 13 homes on Jefferson Street adjacent to the property in question. The city of Clinton has received a special use request for the proposed construction of a 135-foot 5G cell tower on property adjacent to the rear of these 13 homes. 2 different letters were sent by the city to inform these residents. However, out of the 8 residents that I was able to speak to, 3 only received the first letter in December 2025, which did not specify the proposed construction. 1 resident only received the second letter dated January 12, 2026, which stated the Planning and Zoning Committee would meet on January 20th, 2026 at 6 p.m. to discuss the tower, and the City Council would meet on February 3rd, 2026 at 7 p.m. She received the letter on January 20th, 2026 at 8 p.m. when she returned from work. 3 residents received both letters and 1 resident received neither. Only residents adjacent to the property on Jefferson Street received any notice at all. No residents on the other side of Jefferson Street, Colonial Drive, or the connecting Cleveland Street received any notices. I've spoken to the Planning and Zoning Committee of the City of Clinton and was informed that this planned tower meets the city's ordinances because it is within 1 mile of the city limits and need only be within the height of the tower from any adjacent property with a maximum height of 150 feet. The permits will need to be requested from Sampson County government. The residents of Colonial Heights subdivision are extremely concerned about the proposed cell tower in its entirety. There are significant health, safety, agricultural, and property value issues that should be explored before approval. This site is near residential areas, schools, and churches. Any student in Sampson County that is in the Clinton City School District who will attend Sampson Middle and Clinton High School can be impacted by this tower, as well as their parents, teachers, and other school staff. If this proposed tower reaches the permit phase, we request an opportunity to present our research in opposition. We are not opposed to progress and the accessibility of cell service to everyone in Sampson County. We just do not wish for this progress to come at the expense of the health and safety of Sampson County residents. Sincerely, Shirley W. Honeycutt, Corey J. Hall, and Susan Brewington.
Thank you, Ms. Shirley. We appreciate your comments. We really do. They won't go unnoticed. Stephanie, the next public comment, please.
The next comment is from Mr. Terry Williams, and I got an email from him this afternoon. He said, "Please ask the commissioners to see what the delay is for the speed signs on the flashing lights on Edmund Mathis Road at Union Intermediate School. A yellow speed sign is a suggestion and hard to enforce. A white speed sign allows the speed limit to be enforced. Also, what is being done at the old Clear Run School intersection. The trailer is still blocking vision in the curve. Does someone or a busload of students have to die before something is done to improve safety? The school bus drivers are very scared of this intersection. Thanks for the speed limit signs at Union Elementary. The signs can and are being enforced at a dangerous intersection at school opening and closing time." Terry Williams, Union Advisory Member.
We appreciate his comments also tonight. They won't go unnoticed either. At this time, we're going to move right on to our county manager's comments.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. So just a couple of things I wanted to mention. First of all, as far as the weather, of course, county offices were closed today. We made the decision this afternoon that county offices would be closed tomorrow as well, but that was only after we vetted information with the sheriff's office, as well as emergency services. Of course, we had our control group meeting where we had input from all others as well. But I think the biggest thing, though, was just comments from the sheriff's office about the roads, the secondary roads, not the main roads, but the secondary roads are very treacherous, very icy. So we just wanted to err on the side of caution. So I wanted to make you aware of that. we will make a decision tomorrow in reference to Wednesday morning, and we'll certainly keep you in communication about that. One other thing I wanted to say, though, I want to make sure for both of these weather events we've had, and of course we've been very fortunate. They could have been a lot worse than they have been as far as the initial forecast for both. But I just want to especially thank all of our public safety employees, our essential staff, just all the work they've done behind the scenes, things that people don't know that they do in order to keep this county running and safe. And I just really appreciate those efforts from everyone. Next on my list is the Sampson 360 event that Ray has planned for us, and that's at the Sampson Exposition Center on Tuesday, February 10th at 11:30. Of course, it's meant to align with the strategic economic plan for the county to help with fostering, building relationships with the municipalities, with local businesses, just networking, trying really hard to do all we can to help move the county forward as far as our economic position. And there will also be a guest speaker. The topic will be economic trends to watch, and his name is Ted Abernathy, who is considered an expert in his field. So we're looking forward to that. The next thing I would like to just say, and this is really not much of an update, just to say that we're certainly concerned and we continue to follow these couple of issues that could have significant impacts to the county in terms of our budget. The first one would be related to the big beautiful bills implication related to food assistance, Medicaid, additional eligibility requirements, and those sort of things. I'm glad to see this, and I'm looking forward to participating. The NCACC is hosting a special meeting for county managers this Wednesday, February 4th, and it's to help explain what counties should be considering as they put their draft budgets together related to these topics. So I'm glad they're providing us with that resource, and I'll certainly let you know what I learned from that. We also continue to follow the any developments with the House Select Committee on Property Tax Reduction and Reform. Their next meeting is scheduled for February 18th, 2026. So far, everything's just basically been exploratory at this time. And that's everything that I have, commissioners, and I certainly appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Van. Alan, Mr. Chairman, you're on mute.
I'm sorry. I'm glad you told me, Chip. I was just rolling around talking. At this time, we're going to move on with our commissioners' comments and reports. Ms. Letha, if you will, you're up first.
I don't have any comments tonight. Thank you.
All right.
Except I'm glad to be here, and I just thank everybody for chipping in and doing your part to see that the county keeps on moving. Thank you.
Been a big deal so far. Eric, you got anything?
I would just really like to thank our public works, our emergency services people, 911 and sheriff's office staff, and all the county fire departments that have stepped up to the plate during our recent weather events. With particular interest, I'd like to just really say that our control group sometimes, you have to make some hard decisions. Sometimes they're popular, sometimes they're not popular. Our emergency services people do a little bit more one-on-one with the National Weather Service than the general public is aware of. We get a little bit more detailed information pertaining to Sampson County, which influences some of the decisions locally. If you look at a news station, a lot of times you get a regional approach, and that's why decisions might be made. But our control group has practiced, through some hurricanes and snowstorms in the past, and they make good decisions. And I'm thankful that the work they've done for us over the past couple of weeks. And like I said, all of our county staff that has stepped up to the plate, I'm very thankful for as well.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate those comments. Commissioner Crumper, you got anything?
I'd like to echo what Eric just said, and I also like to mention I appreciate our computer went blank there for a second. I appreciate the community spirit. I was at downtown Roseboro the other day. This was before the first ice storm the week before, and the mayor came in and she was asking the owner of the furniture store if she could get a bed, temporary bed, because Rick had called her wanting to put an ambulance at the Roseboro fire station to make sure that the ambulances could service Roseboro without having to drive so far in the ice. And he stepped up to the plate and provided the furniture that they would need to spend the night. So that's just goes to show how our community is. We step up to the plate when we're needed. And I echo what Alan said. We appreciate Rick and we appreciate everybody that has been serving us and protecting us. I'd also like to that point, I'd like to remind everybody that this coming Saturday, after being delayed the past 2 Saturdays, Roseboro will have its open house from 11 to 1 at the new fire department. So everybody, if you're able, come on out and see the new fire department, nicest fire department in the state of North Carolina. But I'm biased, but it's a very nice fire department. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, with that, we're not going to adjourn yet, so hang on. I do want to bring a few things to everyone's attention. And one, Paul, you're sitting there right quiet in the corner of my thing, being behaved and being nice tonight. But I want to bring it to everyone's attention that this is Paul's last week. Paul has taken on some new endeavors in his life, and we wish him well. And I know you'll be successful in anything you go at. This comes from the board, who thanks a lot of you, and we appreciate what you've done for Sampson County. If you got anything you'd like to say, the floor is yours, sir.
Just that it's been an honor and a privilege to work with you all, and an honor and privilege to work with you and serve this county. So I take nothing but good memories from my service and my time helping y'all here. And as you mentioned, just new endeavors. So I'm grateful for the time, and thank you so much.
Thank you. And so everyone knows we've reached out to someone else to cover us during their needs and things that are coming up to represent the county and as a lawyer. And I think we'll be fine. And again, Paul, we thank you for what you've done for us. And with that, now I've got to bring to your attention also, we have retiring. Mr. Mark Turlington is going to retire this month. He wasn't on tonight. It's his anniversary, and we wish him well. We wish him well in his endeavors to retire. He comes over from DOT, and I think he was with us 12 or 13 years, I believe I'm right. And I do appreciate everything he's done with that water department and all. It's been a great fit for us. It really has. Got anything from any of the other commissioners about any of these retirements and all moving on?
We appreciate you.
I would just like to go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, you're up. You're on. It's on you.
I would just like to say that I'm gonna miss Mr. Turlington. He's been a real champ with listening to my problems and listening to the constituents' problems and never getting upset. He just handled it very professional in the way that he should have, and he's been great. And I know he'll do great in his retirement, relaxing, sleeping in. So I just wish him well. I've enjoyed working with him for the past 5 years. And Alan, I'm going to miss you also. You've been a great attorney. You've been here for us, whatever we needed. You tried to help us in every way you can. We're going to miss you too.
All right.
I'm going to miss you, Commissioner Lee.
Thank you.
My final comment tonight will be to bring everybody up to par on that we had the roundtable session with our elected officials this last week. Chip was there with us. Mr. Crumper, I appreciate you being there with me. And it was very good. A lot of people brought a lot of good stuff to the table. And that's the kind of openness I want to convey to the citizens of this county, that we're working with our towns and everyone. And we're bringing them to the table. You elected them. And we want to give them a chance to have voice. Back to the commissioners, and then I'll report back to you guys. But right now it's kind of quiet. We're just looking at somebody on that RPO, and I'll get with you, Stephanie, on that one as we move forward. With that, has anyone else got anything else they'd like to say as far as commissioner goes? Any comments?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to thank everybody for their patience and for working with us tonight. I think we're all kind of new at online meeting. We got out of the habit with COVID being done. So thank you, everybody, for bearing with us and being patient while we worked out a few little kinks in the beginning.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you for working with me.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to, if I may, thank you, Stephanie, as well. And you know, sure, we had a little bit of a snag to begin with, but I think all in all, it went pretty well. So thank you, everyone that had a hand in it. Yeah.
All right. With that said, I will entertain a time now to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
And we got a motion and a second. All those in favor, we are adjourned.
We'll see you later.
y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
I'm gonna call
Good
you.
night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Are we done?
So,
Do I need to sign anything with you?
not today.
I know not today, no kidding. But do you want me to? I know that Kim's got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I'm going to the office. I know y'all are closed. You may head that way Wednesday somehow or another. Wednesday, Thursday, or Wednesday. Find out when we're gonna be open, I guess.
I'll call you tomorrow when I look over everything and see exactly what we need.
Thank you. I appreciate
Is that okay?
That works.
No
for me.
problem.
All right. Bye.
See ya.